Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to PSGL, the first race under Premier Sim Gaming League. This is the PlayStation platform, the F2 tier, and we play host to the first round of 2021, round number 4, the Circuit Pour Ricard for the French Grand Prix. My name is Jess, and joining me as per usual, we got Dan. How are you doing tonight?
Doing brilliant, Jess, knowing that PSGL is back in action around at the Circuit de Pour Ricard in the beautiful country of France, and a lot has changed over the winter break. Of course, we are no longer known as PlayStation Gaming Leagues. It is now a sort of a universal name instead of XBGL. We're now just running under PSGL for Premier Sim Gaming Leagues, and there's also been an announcement of a PC platform league, which I am so excited to be watching every week on a Thursday night, and that will be commentated by the incredible CRGGO.
Yes, and Jack Canan will be joining him as well. Sign-ups are closed for that, so at some point we will find out who's going to be racing in that. But let's draw our attention to what's been happening in the world of driver lineups. And one big one, I have to say, as well. Lee Finley, our championship leader, well, he's no longer going to be the championship leader after tonight because he has been promoted up to F1 as first reserve, so best wishes to him. And replacing him in the Renault will be the last winner that we've seen before Christmas in Belgium, which was Samuel Bean, Cometa Bean. That's his gamer tag for tonight, but he's probably going to change his gamer tag for a bit. So, but he's doing very well in the championship, 4th place at the moment, so he could be an early threat for the title, even though he scored points. Because don't forget, reserves do score points for the Drivers' Championship, but not for the Constructors. But now he's going to be scoring points in both events.
Yeah, absolutely. So now being in that full-time seat, he's guaranteed going to be racing every week, and he's going to have a lot more opportunities to practice because he knows that he will be competing in whatever race is taking place. In this case tonight, it is at France, but we got some reserves coming in as well, replacing I believe it's Hadler tonight, is Lamakina, making his return to PSGL. He's very well known in the community and of course a former Challenger Series driver. He is sitting in that McLaren. And then Caden Forbes is out of it today. Of course, he's having issues with his wheel. He just moved over to wheel over the Christmas break, and World Rally 1992 is taking over his place. So that is an MNT Ferrari lineup today. Of course, Lamp signing for them over the winter break. And I believe that is it for the reserves, unless I'm missing one more, but I don't think I am.
I think you got every reserve actually as well, and that is this is World Rally's second race because he made his debut in Belgium reserving for someone that I can't remember. So best wishes to him. So we'll take you through the standings very, very quickly. So Benjamin is your de facto championship leader in first place. Well, he's second place for now, but you never know. He may move up to the top spot if he gets a good result tonight. A 2-point gap over P1R1 Will, who also had a good result in Belgium last time out, with scoring a 5th place there. Then we got Sam in 4th, like we said. Fabi in 5th. Mish in 6th. Luca in 7th. Luca actually recently signed today to Team Shizou, and Shizou has already really got a strong team. So best of luck in his new outfit. This is, I think, it's going to be his first race in the Shizou outfit at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see how that happens. Midnight in 8th, Balliner in 9th, and Table Clan is in 10th. Then we got Kazooie, Hadler, Tomato, CC Brain, and Lamp F1. Your constructors standings, despite Lee leaving the league, the constructors points still stand from however many points Lee Finley has scored, as well as Kazooie, of course. So Renault are leading the standings. We've got AlphaTauri in 2nd, Williams 3rd, Racing Point 4th, McLaren 5th, Red Bull 6th, Alfa Romeo 7th, Ferrari 8th, Mercedes 9th, and Haas in 10th. So this track was first used in Formula 1 back in 1971, and the track is 5.842 kilometers long with 15 turns, 6 to the left and 9 to the right. There are 2 DRS zones, one at the start-finish straight and one between turns 7 and 8. Not many overtaking opportunities around the track, but still I think they're going to provide us with some great racing. So without further ado, we're going to go straight to qualifying, and we've already seen some laps already with Petrock setting the benchmark at the moment on pole position. I'm trying to find someone that we can go on board with on our lap, but I think they're in the middle of the lap because we joined quite late there. But yeah, a little bit of a benchmark for some of these guys to follow, including Bean, who's got a tough act to follow, with Lee scoring 2 wins out of 3. But obviously he scored a win in Belgium as well. Could he get another win here tonight?
He Definitely is going to be one to be feared by the drivers. Of course, he would have practiced a lot harder over the winter break. I'd imagine a lot of these guys are very fresh in their sort of ability. They've had this time off to rest up and just relax and then get back into the swing of things over the last couple of weeks. Only 3 laps being set at the moment. Some drivers are having issues setting a valid lap time. Some of these guys just running off at the wrong places. Ballina goes to the top with a 127.2. These guys can definitely go faster than what they're doing now, so don't expect this this 27.2 to be the pole time, because those times are going to come down rapidly as the session goes on and the track has more grip laid onto it.
I muted my mic. I do apologise. I was speaking for like 10 minutes, 10 seconds, and realised that I wasn't speaking, so I do apologise. But anyway, one person to watch out for tonight is Ballina, I would say, who was currently setting the benchmark time. He's been practicing for France like crazy, and I mean crazy. He's been saying pretty much really good lap times around France. He means business to quite a lot of people in the F2 chat. We're practicing a lot as well, and I think that's a huge advantage about France. They had extra time to practice, whereas the other tracks, apart from obviously the first round in Australia, they only had a week to practice. So does that mean we could see some closer racing, or could we just see something similar to what we've seen in other tracks where there has hardly been any overtaking? We'll have to find out as the session goes on, as everyone is just going into the pits now, apart from Lamp F1, who is on his outlap in the Ferrari. He's going to be the only driver that's going to be scoring points for the Ferrari camp tonight, because reserve drivers do not score points for their constructors. That is the rule here in PSGL, of course, but you know, Lamp has got a point to prove. He scored points before, and he shouldn't be too bad, actually. We don't know who's going to be on pole position. It's that close here in PSGL, actually.
Absolutely, Lamp has just begun his lap and he's already got a Renault pulling out in front of him. That's either Kazooie or it's Bean, and it is Bean last time out. He won this race in Belgium, and now he's just going to pull off to the side, let Lamp through. Probably gave him a nice little bit of slipstream just down that short little part before the end of the first sector. It looks like Lamp is looking really good on this lap so far. He's purple through the first sector, 21.4. There's been a lot of chatter in the stream about rain coming, so maybe you guys are running a wet setup. We will have to see, but I don't believe we've had a wet race so far this season.
I think we might. I think I remember there was. I think it was a wet. It started to get rainy towards the end, but it was not enough to go onto the intermediate tyres. So that was tricky for the drivers. But I don't think they've had a wet affected race in quite a long time. I remember last season, the first 6 rounds, we've had rain. So it was quite a change, actually. And I think if there was one of those tracks where nobody wanted rain, is this one. Because obviously the track is understeery anyway, in particular towards, I would say, turn 11 and 12. And, you know, in a wet setup is even more tricky. So they got to have pure skill to do well around here. And they're not going to have the benefit of DRS like in obviously in the dry, and there's only 2 DRS zones anyway, so they're not going to have a huge disadvantage, because there's some tracks like Silverstone, for example, that has 3 DRS zones. So, you know, and Lamp goes on top at the moment, 126.9, and Dan, you said that Lamp was going even quicker and it was looking good on his lap, and boy, he's the first person to go into the 126s already on the soft compounded tyre. And I'm thinking, due to the strategy on offer today, as you just seen earlier on the stream, I think it's most likely going to be a soft to hard if it's going to be dry, but if it's going to be wet, then obviously it'll be into till 4 wets. But I don't know what's going to happen, but it's just the beauty of changeable conditions, isn't it?
Yeah, from just looking at the chat, it looks like that it will be a wet, dry race. Could be very, very interesting for these drivers, with a brilliant lap time coming out there from Lamp F1. Of course, as you mentioned, the first driver to go into the 1 minute 26s. We do have a couple more drivers towards the end of their laps, including Bean at the moment. He's done a 48.3 through the second sector, now coming up towards the beginning of the final sector. Of course, Lamp, the man on provisional pole, getting out of his way as Bean did previously on the start of Will's lap there, as coming through this long sweeping left-hander. You want to take a really late apex there, swing it out and flip the car over and onto the turn number 14, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, a lot of long corners, and then the final hairpin to open it up onto the DRS straight. And there it is, the rear wing opening up for Bean. What can he do in that Renault car? Getting a full-time seat, and he might have just backed off at the end there because he broke right as he finished that lap, but he did a 27.4. I don't know if he broke as he finished the lap or if it was just before.
I couldn't really tell, to be honest, as well, from Bean, but I'm guessing he wasn't happy with his lap time and he doesn't want to start on those tyres, so he's going to go into the pits. He might have had a little bit of issues early on in the lap as well, which caused his tyres to look up a little bit, and you do not want to be starting on those tyres, but it doesn't matter if it's going to be a wet start to the race. So, you know, I'm a bit confused why you would back off like that. I would back off if it was a dry start to the race, but it is a wet start to the race, so he's got nothing to lose in that respect. But anyway, he is on P3 at the moment because Ballina is in P2. Let's see how Ballina does as he goes past turn 12 and heading into turn 13. And you were right, Dan, heading in towards turn 14. It's nice to have the turn numbers on the track. I don't have to keep looking at the track map all the time. Going into turn 15. Can the early pole favourite get pole position here? Provisional pole. It is a 1:26. No, it's a 1:27 actually. 0.2. 4 thousandths quicker than his previous best. I know he could go quicker around this circuit. I know a lot of people that can go quicker around this circuit, but they don't want to push too much too soon because it's early days and they don't want to show other people what they could do. And other people in the garages will be like, hang on, how could I tweak my front wing potentially, or how could I what sectors can I work on to get pole? So maybe Ballina is saving time towards the end of the session, and maybe that's what Bean is doing as well.
Yeah, maybe they just don't want to throw all their cards down onto the table, but someone finishing up a lap, making his season 27 debut is La Machina, and he is just coming onto the DRS straight, and he's going to pick up a bit of a slipstream from the AlphaTauri car in front of him. I believe that Fabi just went in second position. What can the other McLaren do? He goes in fourth position, so those guys will be fighting for the pit spot if these guys are very close on the grid. Of course, no points being scored for the McLaren team by La Machina tonight. Is all for himself, but Fabi will have to try and carry that McLaren team. Of course, Hadler is not here tonight and La Machina filling in for him, but a decent lap from both of the boys in orange. A 27.3 for La Machina and then a 27.1 for Fabi. Good lap time from the two of them.
Yeah, already indeed, but they're not having huge fuel loads at the moment, but not the lightest fuel loads as well. So they'll be stretching their fuel loads for a few of their runs. When it goes to their final runs, then they're probably going to go on the lowest fuel possible, go out as late as they possibly can, and that is when we will see the faster time. So do watch out until the end as well. We got Simo, Kazui and Will on the mediums, and I'm wondering why they're going out on the mediums, because it is going to be a wet start. Maybe they're probably thinking that it might be a kind of a similar situation to what we've seen in other tiers and other races before, where it's been a wet track and dry tyre situation, which wouldn't let the drivers select the inters or the wets, for example. So maybe they're having a contingency plan, but I don't think that's going to happen. If it did happen, it may just say dry race or something like that. So yeah, a little bit confused, but hopefully they remembered to check the weather forecast in the garages. That's it. I was trying to think of a word, but there we go. But yeah, I'm sure Simo has got a lot of work to catch up on, or maybe he wants to have enough softs at the end just in case and when it gets to the dry stint he doesn't have enough left if he goes on the softs. But we'll have to wait and see. As Greeny and Name Changer still yet to set a lap time at the moment. Obviously Name Changer, he raced in the Challenger Series along with Simo as well, so they weren't racing in Belgium, but it's great to have them back for France as well. And you know, they're not gonna be as rusty, because obviously they did race when the drivers were in Belgium, but just racing in different tracks. But they're probably going to be in a lot more pressure. Name Changer, oh, I thought he was going to do a lap then, but I guess he wasn't happy. He might have been validated there. Yes, he did. So he goes in and to the pits as well. Table Clan, his teammate, is also on an out lap. 3 minutes left to go, and it's the calm before the storm. And it's nice to also see that the Mercedes are up there as well. And Lamp goes fastest once again with a 1:26.8. Nobody's getting into the 1:26s yet, Dan, apart from Lamp.
Yeah, absolutely. Lamp looking really, really impressive. I know how hard he works to be as fast as he can, and even with his bad internet, that really does frustrate him. He really does try his hardest to really perfect every lap that he does, so it's really good to see him finally reaping what he sows. He is now on the provisional pole spot with only 3 minutes to go. At the beginning of the session, you wouldn't be really thinking that a provisional pole time would really be what you'd expect, but now it's getting to the point where this could be the fastest time, and Will could sorry, that is Lamp, of course. Will is Lamp, but there is another Will on the grid, so we have to call him Lamp. He can definitely be one to challenge for pole, certainly in the top 3, I think.
Yeah, I think as well. I'm trying to remember where Lamp actually has finished in the last few races, of course. I think there was one race where I think there was a couple where he did not finish, but his best result was a P8 in Australia. He did not start in Great Britain, and he got a P15 in Belgium. So wherever he finishes, he still finishes at least. He still makes his car to the end, despite the trouble that he faces. He's usually a good qualifier, but sometimes his inconsistency in the race lets him down a bit. Let's hope it does not happen here tonight, of course, as do some of these drivers do as well. As Simo comes across the line, as Lamp actually retired from the session, so he's not going to improve his time. Simo only stays 12th fastest. He does not improve on his time. Everybody else is going out on their out laps. Greeny is slowing down. I think he's running out of fuel, so I don't think he's going to make it into the pits in time. So I think a 1:27.2 down is what Greeny's best time is going to be.
Yep, that's not really what he wants to see. He's already getting to the point where if he were to come out now, it'd be a really... He'd have to go very quickly on his outlet, which is of course what you don't want to do, because then you'll wear out your tyres before you actually set your lap. So I think that is qualifying for Greeny over. He's just trying to pull himself back to the pit lane, but then again he's not turning there, so I'm a little bit concerned as to what Greeny is doing here. We'll have to see what he does, unless he's going for some really weird start to a lap. This definitely is throwing me off here, as we might as well focus on someone else. I believe that I'm trying to see who's on a lap at the moment, just coming to the end of those at least.
Yeah, Ballina is just going through turn 7 and 8 now as well. I'm going to see how he is in sector 2. That was almost an invalidation there. There's some corners you can get away with track extended, but not many, because this track and all tracks on the PSGL calendar is strict corner cutting. And for a brief moment, Ballina was purple sector 2, but I think someone went even quicker in sector 2 just then, just behind him, and I was wondering who that is looking at the map. Actually, no one's behind him, so it may be a glitch to gain end as he goes through turn 12 now. This is going to potentially be his last lap, unless he has enough fuel to get to the end. There's no fuel flashing light for him, so he might go again. He's got Sam in the way. Oh, that was very, very close indeed for Ballina there, as I think Sam was on a outlap going to start a flyer, and I think Ballina could have been even faster, and he's only goes in third position right now. Fabi unfortunately can't improve. He has invalidated his lap time, and I'm just trying to see who's going to be the first person to cross the line. It's not Midnight. He's in the pits. I'm trying to find his teammate. No, it's not. I'm trying to find... I thought it was Haas coming across the line, but it was something else as well. So I'll see who else has crossed the line. Rob Raleigh, the reserve driver for tonight. He can only manage 11th, but he does improve on his lap time. So if he stays where he is, he'll be going on the alternate strategy. Well, he will be going on the alternate strategy, because I don't think he's going to get any better, because he just finished a lap. What about Table Clan? Table Clan goes in to the pit lane. We've got Name Changer as well coming across the line. Can he get higher than last place? Yes, he can. He can manage in 7th position. He can't quite beat Greeny, though, as well. We've got Bean still on the lap as well, heading towards just past turn 10 and into turn 11. But there's still more people setting their laps. As CC Brain. What's happened to CC Brain there? Is that the final corner that he's just parked it somewhere? I don't know. But anyway, we got Mish slowing down as well, so he's not going to improve. Luca comes across the line. Unfortunately, he does invalidate his lap time. What about Simo, though? He comes across the line and stays in 19th position. So there's only a few drivers to set a lap, and the only one is Bean, and he slows down as well. So I'm guessing he doesn't want to go any faster. So I was expecting much quicker lap times from these guys, but due to the fact I think majority of people are running wet setup, that's probably why. But Lamp is on pole position. I thought he wasn't going to get it due to people were setting quicker lap times from him. Petrox in second and Tomato in third position.
Yeah, almost 1.5 tenths clear of his closest competitor. Oh, Petrox, really good stuff from Lamp. He woke up today and chose pole position, and that is really great for him to be on the front row of the grid, where that Ferrari deserves. Of course, it's not getting the love that it really should have in real life, so it's good to see the prancing horse on top of the timing sheets. But only 2 drivers, I believe, actually managed to properly improve on their lap and find their way up the grid. Of course, Petrox and Tomato. I don't believe Tomato's had the best start to this season, and being the reigning champion, being in the top 3 is where he really should be, and where he's gonna definitely want to fight to be. So really good to see him in the top 3. But Fabi as well and Ballon, all these guys can take the fight to Lamp. So even though he has secured that pole position, he is not out of the water yet, and we are going to have a brilliant race on our hands.
I'm really excited for this race, to be honest, as well. And there is a difference from last season to this season. Last season, they were allowed to run line only in F2. This season, no line at all to match up with the F1 tier. So F1 and F2, completely no assist. And Toxic Tomato, though, is probably going to be happy with his result. The last time he had a similar good result was in Great Britain, but if he didn't get those penalties, he would have got on the podium, or he would have probably won that race. So anyway, here is your results then for qualifying. Lamp F1 is on pole, like we said. Petrox in second, Tomato third, then we got Fabi fourth, Ballano in fifth, CC Brain sixth, Greeny in seventh. Great for the Mercedes boys. Name Changer in eighth, McQueen in ninth, and we got Kometa being in 10th. Then we got Mish, Luca, Benjamin, Kazui, World Rally, Will, Table Clam, Manalo, Simo, and Midnight bringing up the rear. Midnight is having a little bit of internet issues. I hope that Midnight comes back into the session too, because obviously they are allowed to join back due to the fact that the glitch where they get no warnings is now fixed, I believe. So, yes, and, so people were saying it was going to be a wet start to the race. Doesn't look like it unless we probably see rain on the track, but it looks quite overcast at the moment. I do see soft tyres as well on some of the garages, so that's probably why a few people were on the mediums, or a few people were slowing down because they did not want to start on the soft tyres.
Absolutely, of course. What I saw in the chat was that someone said it was a third of the race was going to be affected by rain.
Right,
So
okay. Yeah.
there's for people who wouldn't know, there are like 6 boxes where there's kind of intervals of weather. So I think 2 of them are going to be, I think it'll be the middle 2, third and fourth, are going to be affected by rain. Then the rest will be sun. So all these guys have decided to go for the mediums. They're going to try and think of the long-term plan, and they won't have to make a pit stop, which will lose them time. But of course, they won't be as quick as the guys on the soft. And who knows, of course, F1 2020 really loves to just throw the rain whenever it likes. So yeah, we could definitely see this rain in about 20 minutes time or something.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that one, and looks like it's taking a while for the drivers to ready up at this stage, or it might just be a few people getting their setups. But CC Brain is tit, and we're not getting a timer. What might be the case is Midnight, he was having internet issues. He joined just at the end of qualifying, and that was when usually the lobby glitches if people join at the end of quali. So it looks like we may need a lobby restart, and I'm just trying to find out from obviously the league admins. Obviously, our league admins for F2 are Greeny and CC Brain. So it's their call whether they want a lobby restart or not, or is it just our delay on our side, or they got an unlimited timer? I don't know. We'll see what happens as we're seeing a few more people ticking their setups, of course. So I think we'll just give it a few more minutes. As Will Murdoch is saying in the chat, is anyone still looking at the chat thing? So it looks like it's something similar there at the moment, or maybe they just stuck on the screen for quite a bit of time. So hopefully there won't be many more issues. If not, we will have to sit there and talk about some stuff whilst we wait. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see, of course. But again, we will let you know if it is going to be a lobby restart, which I hope not, but we will see.
Yeah, I think this might be issues with Midnight's connection here. It looks like I have no clue what is happening at the moment. I believe Midnight might have to just leave the lobby, but that's not really something you want to see. I don't actually see his name
I don't see his name
on the
either.
list.
Yeah.
So, I believe he is in the session. Tomato's calling for a restart. Greeny's called for a restart, and Greeny's one of the admins. So I think that we are definitely confirming to going to be a restart here. I believe Midnight was the host of the lobby,
Yes, it
if I'm
was.
not mistaken, and then Greeny does all the invites. So yeah, I just think that Midnight's internet wasn't going to hold up, and he might have disconnected. Then we had a migrating host issue, and that has just completely broken the lobby. That's just really what happens with F1 2020. It seems like all the time there are going to be issues with lobbies, and nothing ever really runs smoothly in leagues anymore. So yeah, it's brilliant to see. Thank you, Codemasters, and there's Greeny leaving the session.
Yeah, and I'm going to change scenes there as well. And we have to, I'm going to quit to main menu before everyone else leaves, because otherwise I'm going to get this session no longer exists or crashing the game or something, and I don't want that to happen. So I think that's what a lot of drivers are going to be doing as well. Not a great start to 2021. We've barely had any lobby issues in F2. We got very lucky that we didn't suffer from the glitch in round 1 where the Cody servers were playing up. So I think we dodged the bullet there, but seems like we've got some issues tonight. Hopefully it doesn't do the same for the other tiers as well. It might just be Midnight's end as well. So we'll just wait for our invite, and I'm just looking at the weather. So it's going to be the same weather as before. So I believe you can do custom grid slots, but I wonder how many slots you can do for that. I know it's 6 in dynamic, but I wonder if there's less in the custom weather, but they're probably going to figure out about that. But the most important thing, Dan, as well, the top 10, they will have to start on the same tire that they qualify on. If they don't, they get disqualified. But one advantage they also have is they get a fresh set of tyres.
Yeah, that is one of the advantages of starting outside the top 10, is that your tyres are fresh in comparison to the worn out tyres from qualifying for the guys inside the top 10. But now that's completely been nullified, so those guys can go longer into the race. The rain will come in the last 2/3, so I definitely now see why those guys were opting for the medium tyres. It might not be looking too good for the top 10, of course, being on the soft tyres, but we'll just have to see. They'll have that supreme pace in comparison to their rivals, and if it's in the last 2/3, then it could be last third, then it could might not even affect them enough to even really just warrant the intermediate tyres, because sometimes that can happen. It doesn't get heavy enough so that the track gets wet enough where standing water comes in. So could definitely be a spanner in the works for a lot of these guys, and I reckon they'll be scratching their heads thinking, what do I do?
Yes, and I've just been told by the drivers that there are 4 slots in custom weather, so 2 less than the normal dynamic weather. So it's not gonna, the weather's not gonna be as exact as it was gonna be in the race, but it's gonna be very, very close. So it's gonna be a dry. So I think what they're planning to do, if I just look at the chat, because we have a Twitter, so what Greeny's gonna set the lobby at, because I think Greeny's gonna be the new host. It's gonna be start off dry, then light rain, then heavy. So it's gonna get a little bit spicy, I have to say, at the moment. We don't have our invites yet, so I think they're still wondering who's going to be the lobby host. So I think they're still deciding that, and obviously they got to get the custom lobby. Unfortunately, Greeny, I don't have good internet to host myself, because I'm streaming, and usually when I host and when I stream, it has internet issues. But will you be? Greeny's asking Dan if you'll be able to host.
Host, and I believe I actually do have the settings for PSGL, so I could be in the money here for this. I'll just make the lobby.
Okay, I'll say that in the chat now. Thank you very much. because my internet will be rubbish otherwise as well. So apologies for the delay, guys. And whilst Dan sets the lobby up as well, there's a few interesting facts about the French Grand Prix. I thought we weren't going to use them tonight. We were only going to use them if there wasn't many battling going on, but we have to use this in the in-between moments as well. Michael Schumacher has won more French Grand Prix than any other driver, winning the event 8 times, and that was at the Magny-Cours track as well. Ferrari's had the most French Grand Prix wins with 17. At the Paul Ricard track, Williams and McLaren share the record for the most victories. But obviously, in 2018 and 19, Williams and McLaren did not win any. I think it was a Mercedes that won the last one as well. So, yeah. I'm still a bit confused. Fabi said he would host. Dan said he would host. So I still don't know who's hosting. But I'm still not sure. I still don't know what's going on, to be honest. But we should get sorted very, very soon. And I've got some more facts as well about the Grand Prix. In the 1996 one was the last race not to feature any drivers that were crowned world champion. Michael Schumacher qualified on pole, but was unable to start the race due to engine problems, and all the other champions finished in the top 5. So that is interesting there. So yeah, we'll find out who's actually hosting, and then as soon as we know who's hosting, then we can get started again. So apologies for the delay, guys, as Dan and Fabi tries to sort things out for everybody, but we'll have to see what happens. Technical issues, I just wish that we didn't have a broken game. It's just annoying at the moment. So sorry, guys.
Yeah, well, that's just F1 2020 for you. I don't know if I'll be hosting or if Fabi will be doing it. But yeah, Greeny will let me know if he'll do. I'll just send him an invite if he wants to join, and then he can.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get this rectified, and we'll be racing very soon. I need to actually just set custom weather. I've never done customized weather before, so
that is interesting. Fabi, internet. Oh, yeah, I still don't know what's going on. So it is. I think you can only do 4 slots. So it's free. So it's dry, light rain, then heavy. Because obviously it has three in the 6 slots. It had 3 dry, so that counts as 1 slot, and then obviously 2 light rain slots, 3 light rain slots, and 1 heavy rain slot. So yeah, so we're trying to replicate that. So yeah, it's probably a bit later start than we thought, I think, as well. So there's still the F3 race going on if you want to watch a bit of that whilst we wait for the F2 race, but and it is just, I've also noticed as well, the lobbies in PS4 and PS5 are playing up a bit for me recently as well. So yeah, so let us know your predictions in the chat who you think's gonna win as well. And I think whoever's hosting the lobby, they need to set custom grids as well. Don't forget, you can't do that until you're in the lobby. So right, so we may as well keep talking, because otherwise people are gonna say for absolutely nothing. We're just waiting for Greeny to make the final decision. Dan, Greeny wants your internet speed on PlayStation.
Yep, I've got that up.
So
my PlayStation one's on. Yeah,
your PlayStation one. Someone in the chat thinks that Banner is gonna win the race. Well, there's someone, he actually qualified P5, so he's not under the woods yet for him to get the win. So never say never for him. I'm gonna say it's either Balliner or Fabi's gonna get the win. I think Fabi usually does well in the wet conditions, and I think he's one of those drivers that has practiced quite a bit. He's had the most experiencey ones, but you know, I think it's going to be Fabi that's probably going to take the win here tonight as well. Maybe Tomato, if he could, if he's good in the wet, maybe he could be in there as well. It's literally pretty much anyone's game right now on who I think's going to win the race. And usually if I make predictions, Dan, it usually fouls up my face. So yes, so we'll just wait then to find out which one who is at. It looks like, judging by the upload speed, it looks like you might be hosting, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, you got the lobby set up anyway. Oh no, it's Fabi. Okay, Fabi's hosting. That's answered my question. We'll just wait for an invite from Green, and then we could get started. So at least you don't have to set up the custom grid now, and you can we can talk about stuff instead of me rambling on for most of the broadcast. Well, most of the the 5-10 minutes. So, yeah, who do you think is going to win the race?
Who do I think is going to win the race? That is a tough one because there are so many drivers on this grid who have the potential to win. But I think the man who put it on pole can take the win. I think Lamp. I'm really hoping that Lamp takes the win today. He's just such a nice guy, and he really does deserve it. He works really hard, and he's got the motivation like all the other drivers do. But I just see that a little bit extra in Lamp, of course. And judging by his pole time, he was 1.5 tenths clear of his closest rival. It's a pretty good time. The only driver to get into the 1 minute 26s. He's definitely got one of the best chances out of anyone today, and if he can pull away, he'll be right on the money.
Yeah, that is a good shout as well, of course, as well. And Kaber says Luca would win. And interestingly, Jordan in the chat said Lamb could keep up with Sparks in practice. So, that is interesting there as well. So, interesting predicament as well, as I've just got an invite sent by CC Brain. So, thank you, CC Brain. So, I think they're going to wait for all the drivers to go in. And then as soon as all the drivers are in, then they're going to set the grid and custom weather. I think they probably would have set the custom weather already. I will show you the lobby settings as soon as we get in, but hopefully Dan has an invite as well. Sorry about this, everyone, like we said earlier on. But yeah, they have to start on the same tyre. Similar weather as before as well. Same rules as well apply. And I'm actually going to check which tyres everybody actually the top 10 are going to start on. People outside the top 10, they can start on whatever tyre they want. So they don't have to worry. So oh, that's easy. Everyone in the top 10 are starting on the have to start on the soft. So that is easy, of course. But yes, and checking the weather. Yep, the weather does look fine, Fabi, by the way. And Greeny just sent me another invite as well. So we'll just quickly run through actually the calendar for the remaining rounds as well. So actually, no, let's not do that. Let's talk about the PC League, which is going to be starting on the 21st of January. We could actually talk about this now, Dan, because we've got nothing else to do. So the calendar has just been announced in the Discord, and it's going to start on the 21st, and obviously they got a few breaks due to the calendar series, so they're starting on the 21st. We don't know what the track's going to be, but we know when the date's going to be. There's going to be a break after that. So they're going to be races on February the 4th, 11th, 18th, March the 4th, 11th, 18th, and 25th. There's going to be also races on the 8th April, 15th, and the 22nd of April. There's also going to be races on the 6th and the 13th of April. So they're going to have 13 rounds. And any predictions of what the drivers are chosen as tracks? Because the drivers had some sort of a say on PC on what tracks they want to race at, with a few management decisions as well, but mainly it's for the drivers. Any tracks do you not want to see on the PC calendar?
Tracks I don't want to see on the PC calendar will be ones that I don't think make good racing. So I guess the tighter circuits like Hungary and Monaco don't really provide the most overtaking in the world, but sometimes can provide some of the best battling. But you just can't bank on that. So I don't think that Monaco or Hungary should be on the calendar. But there are so many tracks that all these high caliber drivers can make the most of. There are a bunch of esports drivers signing up, including the champion, of course, Jano Otmir, season 25 PSGL PlayStation champion. So they're going to have a brilliant season no matter what tracks they do it at. And I don't think there really should be any limitations for them, but if I were to choose a couple of tracks that shouldn't be on the calendar, it'd be those two.
Yeah, I think so as well. And I think I would say France as well, and Spain, I don't know. I don't get why Spain is on the real life calendar, to be honest, as well. But yeah, I was just a little bit confused why they renewed their contract. But that's just my predictions as well. But I would like to see Austria there. I think Austria is a good track for overtaking. Monza is good, I think, for attrition. But with the DRS trains, maybe there will be less overtaking potential as well. Silverstone is the home of British Motorsport. You can't not have Silverstone. I would also say maybe Zandvoort, even though it's not a good overtaking circuit, it's one of the new circuits, and if it'll have to be out of Zandvoort and Vietnam, it'll probably be Zandvoort for me. And I'm trying to think of what other tracks they could be as well that they would probably pick. Maybe Belgium. Belgium always provide good races at PSGL, so I'd like to see Belgium on the calendar. Brazil, definitely not Abu Dhabi though. it never provides good lead racing. It's usually like a possession, but it's a lot better than the real life races. But I do not want to see Abu Dhabi on there. So if any of the PC guys, well, they probably know the calendar already, but we don't. So we're probably predicting, and they're probably going to be laughing at our faces at the moment. Looks like we got all 20 drivers in the lobby. All that's left for Fabi to do, as he's now the new lobby host, is to set the custom grid, and then we could get going. So I think we should be getting going in a few minutes time, fingers crossed. So hopefully we can get some good racing once again. Hopefully no more lobby issues, and hopefully they'll also remember to turn the formation up on as well, and they will also have to remember to select a setup as well, because obviously they won't have it locked from qualifying because there's no qualifying. So they'll be going straight to the race, and they need to set their setup very, very quickly. I wonder how many people would forget the setup, Dan.
I'm really praying. I hope you haven't jinxed any of them there, saying that they might have forgotten the setup. But if they were on a dry setup in qualifying, they now can swap it over to a wet setup. But on this game, you don't really need to change it all too much. So I guess it could be okay for these guys. But yeah, definitely don't think any of them will forget. And if they do, that's completely on them, because they've had ample amounts of time to remember to put on the setup. But just want to mention over the last couple of days, I believe 4 or 5 days ago, PSGL made an announcement on Twitter, and of course over the Christmas break there was well, I believe it was just before, there was the whole controversy which saw none of the drivers getting the rewards for the season. That is now returned because at TRT_esports on Twitter have graciously provided, I believe it's £120 for the F1 winner. So of course no funding for F2, but it is such a great thing to see that those guys at the top division are actually going to be getting the reward that they really do deserve, because yeah, it's just something that they really do deserve. And Xbox is getting £80 as well, so in total £200 for a prize pool out of the entire league, which is really brilliant to see. So thank you to TRT Esports. I believe that's Total Racing Team. What a great name that is. They are now providing just for season 27, if I'm not mistaken. I don't believe this is a contractual thing.
No, I don't think as well, unless it's gone well for them and they want to do it for another season. But I think it's just the obligations is just for one season, and if it doesn't go as planned, or if they don't have the money to do it for another season, then they don't have to. They're not obliged to do it in any way, shape or form. So yeah, I do agree that it gives them more motivation, like the F1 tiers, to actually do well in racing again, and also potential, like, it gives, most people do not race for the money, but again it adds a little bit of an incentive to do well. Maybe that some of the guys will practice more in the top tiers as well. Maybe it gives the F2 guys the extra motivation to potentially move up to a reserve role if any of the full-time drivers drop out, and that means that the reserve seat has become available as well. So I think it's good for F1 and F2 as well, because if it's in place next season, as many drivers as they can would want to get full-time seats in the highest division, because basically the F1 tier is pretty much the best PS4 league in the whole of PS4. I've got to say, I'm not arguing about that at all, but it is the best. No arguments there. As the countdown is there at the moment. You won't be able to see it. I'm not going to switch scenes until we can get back racing it again. So yeah, don't ask us why the restart was taking so long. They were trying to figure out who the lobby host was and getting the settings sorted. So everything was good, because obviously we didn't want someone to host who had rubbish internet. So I think we should be good to go. And let's also see if they are starting on the right tyres as well. That's going to be the interesting part. So we're on the grid, and we are going underway. So let me just switch scenes. Has everybody behaved themselves and has gone on to the soft tyres? Please say they did. In the top 10, yes they have. So no disqualifications. But do you want to go through the tyres outside the top 10, Dan?
Absolutely. So in 11th position is Mishi, is on the medium tyres, and the other drivers on the medium tyres, there's 3 of those, is Tablecan, Manolo and Midnight, and the rest of them, that's Luca, Benjamin, Kazui, World Rally, PR1 Will and IGK Simo, all those guys starting on the hard. They'll be a lot slower than the mediums and the soft runners for a long time in this race, but when those guys have to pit, when their tyres die off, those guys can continue on and potentially extend to the portion of rain that we do have coming later on in the session, because that is confirmed, I believe, is for 3 blocks this time. So half the race will be affected by rain. The medium runners should be right on the money to actually get into the pits as it really does start to come down with rain. So if those guys can have a safety car or just be good at saving those tyres, those guys could be the dark horses in this race, especially me starting all the way down in 11th position. The best position to start. It's widely regarded as the alternate strategy pole position, as it's just so powerful around on this game. But luckily we're not going to see the alt strat today because of the rain that we'll be affected by.
Yeah, exactly. So I've seen many wet affected races where we saw someone who started in 11th place and went into the leader race, and then as soon as the rain came, I think it was Xbox actually. Yeah, it was Xbox. It was Xbox on Thursday where it was a dry to wet race. And they went on to luckily it was nowhere near the right conditions for the full wet tyres, but there was someone that did start on the mediums. They were like 13th or something like that, and they went on to win the race. So I think I'm going to change my prediction. I think Mish is going to win the race because if the rain doesn't come soon, then this could really help. But it is a lot darker than I thought, so it may be that the sauce will last until the rain period. We'll have to wait and see as all the drivers are lining up on the grid. Then all 20 cars on the grid. Midnight starting at the back, so obviously he disconnected. Hopefully Midnight's internet held up. He's not the lobby host anymore, so hopefully there shouldn't be any migrating host issues throughout the race, touch wood. So we're about to get started then, a little bit, about almost half an hour later than planned, but better late than never. Anyway, the 5 red lights are on. Lamp is on pole, Petrox alongside him, and we got a lot of jump starts actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people have got jump starts, so they will have to serve their drive-through penalty, but it looks like Lamp has got a very good start into turn 1, as well as Petrox as well. Toxic Tomato stays, it actually drops down to 4th place. He's had a horrific start. McQueen has had a good start as well down the back, as we've already had some contact from the back of the field. I think Name Changer dropped down all the way down into last place. That's allowing Midnight to claw his way up as well. So a good start for Lamp as well. Definitely the start he would have wanted as well. The top 3 I think are remaining unchanged apart from Tomato. Fabi has got a good start up into 3rd position in the McLaren. He's got Ballina, who is the France merchant, I have to say, chasing him down for P3, getting the move down to turn 8, but he's not going to do it here. But they're only going to be using DRS for only about a third of the race, so it's not going to be much overtaking unless it's at the first part of the race. So you've got to get a majority of overtakes done now at the drive period, I have to say.
5 drivers in all of that, getting a drive-through penalty, but it's Lamp F1 leading away from Petrox. I believe the timing screens are a little bit glitched, because that looks like just a little bit more than the gap that we are seeing. PR1 Will, one of the first guys to get that drive-through penalty, was able to charge up the grid, but of course he has to serve that drive-through penalty within the first 3 laps, and he's already losing positions. He's going to be at the mercy of CC Brain very, very soon. I believe Will coming in for his drive-through penalty straight away. Midnight Kazooie as well, Simo, and I believe the last one was Table Clan, if I'm not mistaken, but they're all changing and chopping positions, so I have no clue who's where.
It's Will, Midnight, Kazooie, Luca, Simo, and McQueen, who had a drive through. Everybody else was fine, but yeah, I think maybe there was a few. I wonder who actually had the jump start first, because I think a few people reacted on each other. Usually I look at the lights, but there's some people that just look at the car in front saying, oh, the car in front's going, so I'm going to go. But just wait for the red lights, add precaution, and you should be absolutely fine, of course. But Lamp's stretching the gap to 0.6 of a second over his main rival, Petrox, at the moment. Nobody else has got a time penalty at the moment, and I haven't spoken much about it in this stream so far, but it is penalty central around here. We've seen that in all the other tiers this week, as we've got World Rally, who is up into 13th position and chasing down Name Changer for 12th. So the spin has not hindered Name Changer as much because he didn't get that drive-through penalty. Everybody else did. So that will give him more of an advantage, I have to say. But World Rally is on a charge right now. He's not didn't do too bad in the last race in Belgium, and he wants to live up to that. Don't forget, he was one of the drivers who was racing in the Trover League for quite a few races, and he did quite well in Monaco, I remember, as well. So he's no tough cookie, World Rally, and he just got to find his pace a little bit as well. And we are going to approach lap 3 pretty soon as well, and the DRS will be enabled very, very soon for a chance for the people who are within the 1 second window to get that overtake done within the DRS zone, in between turn 7 and 8, and in at the start finish straight.
Absolutely. Now coming on to lap number 3, they will have that drag reduction system to assist them down the straight. Of course, it looks like Petrox is going to be the first one, of course, to actually utilize the system on his attack on Lamp, but he's just looking a little bit too far back from the Ferrari car to really amount to challenge coming up towards the chicane. Of course, without that chicane, it'd probably be the longest straight on the F1 calendar, but you can just see how he needs to be a lot closer if he wants to actually make a move. Look at the ERS situations that they have. It looks like he's been pushing a lot more than Lamp already. It's only lap number 3 and he's already down to 35% ERS. He just needs to hang with the Brit up ahead, but he just can't do it. It seems to be without that ERS assistance. And meanwhile, his name changer trying to make a move on his teammate right now. Of course, there it is. The name changer making the move easy as you like on Table Clan, and that was almost uncontested by the Spaniard, and that allows for name changer, of course, coming back from his Challenger Series adventures and now back into F2. He's up into 11th position. He's going to be breathing down the neck of Benjamin, who's been looking white hot, of course, the de facto championship leader. He's only in 10th at the moment, but I think that will change very soon.
I think that will change soon as well, because he's on the hard compounder tyres, thinking that the rain is not going to come sooner than we thought, but the 3 slots make it a little bit more open as to when the rain is going to arrive as well. But it is the same sort of overcast conditions, I think, compared to the start of the race as well. So I would say, I think there's 3/3 of the race if you think about it with the 3 slots. The first third, I would say, it will head towards about around lap 8 or 9. The second third will be around, I think, up until around lap 18, 19, and then they will go into the final third for until lap 27. So yeah, I would expect the rain to come about lap 7, lap 8, and then they'll have to pick potentially in lap 9. That's my calculations, if I've done my maths correctly. Name changer's gone again. He's gone past Benjamin up into P10, but he's on the soft tyres where Benjamin and Table Clan have been on the medium tyres. So expect them to be just a little bit slower than their rivals, but name changer is probably going to hope that those tyres last a little bit longer until the rain stint comes. And I'm just looking at the tyre data as well. The softs actually last 9 laps, so if the rain comes in lap 9, that will be absolutely perfect for the soft runners and for name changer to do battle. But if it comes just a little bit later, it's not going to help him whatsoever. But don't forget, in these cooler conditions, the softs do last a bit longer.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ballana already coming into the pit lane here, as well as Greeny. So these guys really pitting early here. I don't know what tyres that they're actually thinking to go onto. It looks like Greeny's going to a set of medium tyres. What about Ballana? He's also going to be on that yellow wall medium tyres. This is looking like an undercut from these guys on the drivers in front of them, and it is quite a smart move, I would say, because that rain is not going to come until later on in the Grand Prix. I would expect by them pitting at this point, because those soft tyres, especially since they're completely fresh, judging by the fact that we went into a whole other session than qualifying. So I definitely think that the rain will be coming a little bit later than we expected, so, and it's pretty smart to go onto the medium tyres now, really just cutting your losses, because if you are on those worn out soft tyres, then it's going to be a lot harder for you to really catch up to the guys who stayed out, because as the race goes on, they'll be getting quicker whilst you'll be slowing down. So very smart move from Ballana and Greeny. Those guys are coming out, inserting themselves into 13th and 14th ahead of all the guys that had their drive-through penalties.
Yeah, so it's definitely not a bad move as well, because obviously Mish, the leading medium runner in 7th place, the only time he will have to pit is when the rain comes, potentially as well, if he can get those mediums to last a little bit longer as well. So yeah, that is technically the undercut on Mish at the moment, because if they don't pit, Mish will be your net race leader, technically as well, because obviously the ones on the soft, they'll be absolutely struggling, as Lamp and Petrox is responding to that challenge. So is Toxic. Fabi is not, though. Fabi is staying out, so I I wonder if he's realised that people are going into the pits, or he's wondering that he's made a mistake. Kazooie has got the first time penalty, as well as Luca and Midnight as well. I think Midnight picked up one earlier on as well. Bean is also the other one of the soft runners to stay out. Everyone else who was on the softs has gone on to pit for the mediums. I think no one on who was on the softs is going on to the hards. So I'm guessing, obviously due to those slots, it's going to come like towards the second third of the race potentially. As well, someone spun. Who's that?
No, it's contact between Lamp and Ballina through the first corner. Lamp just came out the pit lane and right side by side with Ballina, who almost tried to send it down the inside of the Ferrari car. They made contact. I don't believe there's damage to either of the car, but both of them seem to go off the circuit. It looks like Lamp actually cut the chicane. I don't know if he got a warning for that one there, but Ballina kind of took the longer route around. He's lost a lot of time, but that was a heart-in-mouth moment, and there's Petrox now making a move on his fellow VRT driver. So that is the move for a net P2, of course, at the moment. Of course, 9th out on circuit right now. But Lamp, he's gotten away with that one slightly. Now, that could be really bad for the both of them. Probably would have been worse for Ballina because he was on the inside. And if he was getting turned into, that would have been him completely being swiped around and spun. So those guys, I'd say, are lucky that they haven't got any damage onto their cars. And I tell a lie, because Ballina has got right side end plate damage.
I can tell because we've got Greeny and I've seen, and Mercedes also catching up to him as well, and the likes of Toxic could be there as well. So yes, there is danger for Ballina, so you have to come in and do maybe another stop, which is not what he wants, as Ballina does go in. And I did see someone else go in, that's Bean, who was near the front after everybody else has pitted, as well as obviously Ballina has pitted as well. So Bean is going on to the medium stripe tyres, and it's getting a little bit more dark coming up as well. Fabi stays out, so he's figured it's going to come earlier, and I literally don't know which strategy is right, the ones that pitted or the ones that are staying out. I think the ones that are just pitted are probably going to be the ones that will benefit from this situation. I think Fabi is doing a good of a gamble. Sometimes you do have to take gambles in league racing, but the way this is going, this gamble is going to probably not pay off for him, as he's probably going to be way down near his rivals, which is not going to be fortunate for him, because he's going to score less points. In the championship, he is currently sitting in P5, and his nearest rival is the one who's currently sitting in a net lead at the moment, Mish. So even though he's yet to stop, of course. So yeah, that is not what you want when Mish is going to probably try and extend your gap to you in the championship. It's not for the leader championship by any means, but what if the other championship rivals so close to you have a poor race? It's going to be up to these guys to pick up the pieces. So Fabi needs to get a move on here.
Yeah, well, he's lost a lot of time on that last lap, especially almost 2 seconds down on his previous best time. This is not the best strategy from him, I would say. This is a pretty long pit stop, and Lamp, who's already made his stop, the pole position, of course, is 20 seconds back from him. So I'm not sure what Fabi's really been thinking. I think he's just trying to hold out for as long as possible, and if he gets a safety car, that'll be his sweet spot. So really is a gamble, and he's got he has got quite a lot to lose at this point. So it might not be the best decision, but we'll just have to see how it all pans out, because anything really can happen. And something that is happening at the moment is Petrox onto the back of Lamp, and Bean makes a move on Greeny. I don't know if I saw that one, but it looks like Greeny's had to come back onto the circuit after being forced off. So I wonder what happened between those two. Petrox are opening up the DRS. You can see that letterbox on the rear wing. He's not close enough to Lamp, but he's just gaining on the Ferrari car ever so slightly down the straightaway. He can't get by this time, and that is going to be Lamp for maintaining P7 on circuit at the moment. I believe there's been more action further down the order. I think CC Brain managed to find a way past Kazooie.
Yes, as well. So there's quite a few battles happening as well, I think, as well, mainly due to the fact that they're on different tyres. So we're seeing a lot more overtakes than we thought in this race, which is great to see. Who would have thought that this weather would have probably shaken things up a little bit as well, as CC Brain. The battle I was also following earlier on was CC Brain on a name change as well. They're on similar amount of tyres. Name change is probably struggling a little bit more than CC Brain right now. I think Name Brain is starting to get acclimatised to the medium tyres more, I would say, than Name change it is right now. But never say never, of course, as well, as we head on to lap 9. So my predictions of when the rain was going to come is completely wrong. So it just goes to show that the weather slots can be a little bit unpredictable on this game, and custom weather shows it as well. So yeah, sorry about me getting their predictions wrong, but it makes the races unpredictable in a way. I'm glad it's unpredictable, because you never know who's gonna win this race. As we got Bean versus Toxic Tomato for 9th position. I'm sure Tomato will be back to Shazoo Tomato next week when we head to Monaco as round number 5, as we were talking about Monaco earlier as well. As Bean now is going to get the DRS on Toxic. Is he going to find the grip to get past him heading in towards turn 8? He's going to get the left-hand side. Well, he's going to try and aim for the left-hand side, but he's not using his overtake button, so I'm guessing the dirty air's not helping him there. So Toxic just about holds on to P9, whereas Bean has to settle for P10, but he can't get held up too much. Name changer gets a 3-second time penalty. So more time penalties coming left, right and centre. Royal Valley's also having a battle with Table Plan and Benjamin as well.
Yeah, it just looks like that Toxic Tomato, well, I guess just Tomato we should call him, he's really beginning to hold up Bean here. 2.3 seconds is the gap between Petrox and Tomato, so he's really struggling at this point in the race, and he's not got much DRS to really play with, so he's not been saving that at all. So I don't really know what's gone wrong for him. He's really feeling the pressure of the Bean, of course, winner last time out in Belgium, coming back fresh, getting a full-time seat after Lee Finley moved up. He could definitely be in with a chance of getting past the William drivers and being one of the front runners in this race, but of course it is ever so difficult with the overtake button that Tomato can use to just stay ahead. It kind of nullifies the DRS advantage, but you can see the difference in overtake usage that they actually have. It looks like Bean has got almost half of his battery there, whereas Tomato's only got about a fifth of it. So looking really good for the Spaniard at the moment. He could definitely be trying for an overtake on Toxic Tomato very, very soon.
Here he comes, and this is going to be round 2 for Tomato versus Bean. He's looking a lot closer than he was last lap. He's not even using his overtake button. He's been very, very brave heading towards turn 8, and I've got to say that is a very, very good overtake there from Bean there as well. And it looked quite difficult as well to do it without overtake, or it might have just been the game glitching on me and it would have been using overtake, but nope, he wasn't using overtake as well. So Bean is doing an absolutely fantastic job. I'm guessing Tomato is struggling with his ERS, so that's potentially probably why. So otherwise he would have used his ERS. So Bean is definitely showing why he is definitely a good replacement for Lee Finley, driving ever so well in this race so far. Fabi is holding on to those softs. If I was him, I would hold back, go into the pits, and just call it win over. I think it's just the rain's just not gonna come and go heavier than we thought. So Fabi, he's in punch territory right now. Just look at how he's driving the car. He's got Minch catching up as well. That is not what he wants.
And over the last couple of laps, it looks like 6 seconds has been taken out of his advantage to well, now it's only Lamp F1. Now it is only 14.5 seconds, so he's really just struggling at this point in time, and it's not like Lamp has been holding really going for it at all. He's just kind of hanging back at the moment, trying to defend from Petrox, who's actually saved up quite a bit of his ERS. Maybe not going to try and make it into this corner, but if he can get close enough in the braking zone, I think the fast right-hander is definitely going to be an overtaking opportunity for Petrox, the Italian man, against the Brit. Can he get close enough this time? By it does not look like it. He's not using his overtake. There's the move for the lead of the Grand Prix. Mish makes it past Fabi almost seamlessly, but he's got quite a bit of a gap back to Benjamin, so a little bit of breathing room for Fabi. But I think at this point it is just time to call it quits and come into the pit lane. And there it is on lap number 11. He took those soft tyres for as long as they could, but unfortunately it just was not worth it for him. And it looks like, I'm not too sure if this is just my eyes playing tricks on me, or am I seeing just a slight bit of rain?
I am seeing
It's raining.
rain. I am seeing some rain too, Dan. It's not just you. You probably won't be able to see it on your screen yet, but it's coming down quite heavier than I thought actually as well. So we're going to see some people potentially going onto the intermediate tyres. So if it was a few laps earlier, this would have been perfect for Fabi. But he's going to drop all the way down in last. Everybody else ahead of him is going to go into the pit soon as well for Inters. That's just really bad timing for Fabi, and he's going to struggle on those soft tyres as well, as everyone's struggling on those on those dries, as Kazui just got a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. We are going to pretty much see the men from the boys pretty much here. Who's the best in these crossover periods and who is not? Mish is not doing too bad. Benjamin might be struggling due to the fact that obviously the hard tyres are a lot colder than the mediums in these conditions. So the best tyres would be on the medium tyres if it was between the mediums and the hards. Name changer gets past midnight before turn 8, before the entry into turn 8 and the exit turn 8. Oh, someone's gone off. That's Sam. That's Bean, I think. Yeah, he spun. So there was quite a lot of people that were finding the conditions difficult. Kazui was finding the conditions difficult due to the corner cut, and his teammate Bean is doing exactly the same thing and spun. So things have gone from bad to worse, well, good to bad to worse for the Renault team. That's what we're gonna. I'm just looking at the constructor standings at the moment. 41 points to the gap, and we got another spinner as well. That's Will. What is going on? These guys surely will have to pit now.
Something I think I might have just caught the end of was the Table Clan. I think he's lost his front wing here. He might have gone into the back of Benjamin. He's lost an end plate and he's getting that front wing changed. They are all coming in for the intermediate tyres except the World Rally. He's decided to stay out for just one more, but it's already gotten to the point where you have to come into the pits for the intermediate tyres. And look at the pit lane. Look at the traffic jam that it's caused. I believe that, Lamp being in the Ferrari car, he might have gotten held up there. He's come out just ahead of Petrox and just behind Manolo, so he is not out of this race. Looks like Bean has also stayed out of the pit lane, and he's struggling so much with these tyres as well.
Yeah, why is Bean staying out? I'm not entirely sure about that, because he's going to lose more time being stuck behind this traffic, and also because he's on, and he's going to get a time penalty. I won't be surprised if he's going to give up there, as he's got a 5-second penalty there as well. I wonder why World Valley is staying out, because out of all the tyres to be on, the hard is not one of them, and he's spun and he's completely lost his front wing, and his right front wing is completely gone. That means Mish is in your race leader. The one that we thought was going to win this race is your race leader at the moment. He's at the driving seat to get this race victory. He would have got the race victory in Australia if it wasn't for the time penalties he got in Australia. I think League had less penalties than him, which forced Lee to take the win. But Mish can actually get the win properly this time if he keeps it penalty free, which will be great to see. Benjamin is pretty much a net P2 with Table Clan. Despite the damage he's got, he's a net P3.
He did lose quite a lot of time to the back of Benjamin, though. I believe he was right on his rear, and more overtakes. That's been falling down the order. So really, it was just not clever to stay out of the pit lane. World Rally comes into the pits, might have just chipped a little bit more of his front wing on entry for good measure, but I don't know. As he comes in, there it is. Mish takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Benjamin in second, and it'll be third for a Table Clan. But of course, we've got so much more action to come in this Grand Prix. We're only halfway through into this race, and we still got all these guys fighting as hard as they can. It's going to be a real race of attrition at this point. I don't think we noticed this, but Lamp has picked up a 3-second time penalty, which could be crucial in his fight with Petrox and of course Manolo at this point. Manolo in a bit of uncharted territory for himself. Of course, he's not known, he's not had many positions in the high upper reaches of the points, so he's going to be feeling the pressure from Lamp F1. Of course, the quickest guy in qualifying could be the move into the chicane next time by, but it already looks like it is absolutely pouring it down with rain. I wouldn't be surprised if they come in for the wet tyres soon.
Yes, indeed, because don't forget, like we said at the start of the restart of the lobby, I did tell you guys what the slots were. It started off dry, it's going to light rain, and it's going to go to heavy rain. The heavy rain is going to be in the final third of the Grand Prix, so it's going to come any time soon as well. So you're going to hardly see the track. Well, think yourself lucky for the F2 drivers, then they don't get to experience it for the whole race. The F1 race is going on at the moment. It looks like it's going to be a full wet race for them. So, they're going to be so unlucky that they don't get experienced drives. But at least they get to experience drives. Meanwhile, Manolo was trying to get the move past Lamp for to maintain P4 from Lamp as well. Lamp is going to try and get that disadvantage. They're going to go for a move on the penultimate corner, P14, as Manolo outbrakes himself. Lamp gets the move done. Who said you can't overtake in the wet? Well, Lamp is proving himself wrong.
As well.
Oh, Petrox as well, going side by side as well, heading into the start finish straight. It looks like Manolo is struggling for grip right now on those intermediate conditions. That's probably why Petrox easily got past him the way he did. There's some drivers that are loving it, some drivers that are hating it right now. It's just a mixed bag, I think, for some of these drivers. And you can see the gap that Mish is already pulling away to the rest of the field, 1.2 seconds. I think he must like this track, but you can't become complacent because Benjamin is going to try and find some time to catch up.
I think at this point, Benjamin might be the quicker driver in comparison to Mish down the straightaway. It looks like he's a little bit slower, but I think he's pulled that gap down, if I'm not mistaken, to the Italian driver leading the race at the moment. So Benjamin could be in a race-winning place like he was last time in Belgium. He couldn't quite capture the gold, had to settle for a podium, but for today, this definitely could be his opportunity. He's going to be fighting at the neck for this overtake on Mish, but he's losing time through the third sector at this moment. So it's just going to be a race of attrition between these two. Who can manage the wet conditions the most and who can make the least amount of mistakes? I think being in the wet conditions, it's more about making less mistakes than your rival rather than going faster than them.
I think, I'm just going to say, because P2 gets, I think, 50... I'm just trying to see how many points P2 gets. I think P2 gets... I'll need to check Discord, but P2 gets, I think, 12 points or 10. I can't remember. I'll need to double check the actual standings. Yeah, P2 does get 12, so I wasn't playing mind games. So, yeah, P2 gets 12 points in this race. So if Benjamin stays there... So he's on 23 points at the moment. He's going to be on 34 points. He's going to be leading the championship. Lee's not going to be the leader anymore. It's going to be Benjamin. He's also going to beat Will as well. And Bean struggling as well. Benjamin, he's going to be the proper championship leader at this point by quite a bit as well. But he's probably going to have more motivation to try and get the win so he can extend his gap even further. Benjamin just can't make any mistakes right now. Because otherwise he will not get the championship lead. He's quite young as well. And he's doing very well for himself. Actually, the VRT team has gone stronger and stronger as well since the revamp as well. So some very strong drivers. Petrox in there as well. We got Midnight as well that's had a great comeback. Don't forget, he started last as well. In last place due to his disconnection. And he's all the way up into 9th place on the grid. Despite, I think he had a drive-through, I think, in the race as well. So he's had bad luck thrown at him. But he's still coming back to potentially get into the points. He's also got a time penalty. And he's fighting over Greeny for P8. They've been fighting quite a lot in last season's F2 league. They're going to do exactly the same here as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a brilliant fight between those two as Luca picking up a 3-second time penalty. He's not had a good race either way down in 17th. It's looking really unlikely for points for the Dutchman there. Of course, he's had a really good start to the season, but unfortunately just looks like luck is not in his favour and he's just had a bad race. I believe he was one of the drivers that got caught up in the whole fiasco with the jump starts where 5 drivers got put right down to the back of the grid, unfortunately with a drive-through penalty. As we just move on to lap number 17, it looks like the gap between the leaders is beginning to stabilise. So Mish looking really comfortable at the moment, but he's got a lot less ERS to play with. So down the straightaway he'll be slower, but it's not really going to make too much of a difference in the corners. Whereas in comparison, Benjamin has got plenty of it to deploy on this straightaway, and they've got a lot of time back to Table Clan, where Lamp is not too far behind. So really, I don't think the fight is over for any of the top 3 positions. I think it can go either which way.
I would say top 5 or top 6 as well, because don't forget Petrox does not have a penalty, Lamp does, so Petrox could get the podium spot as well. Anything can happen as well. Don't forget, heavy rain is on the horizon really, really soon, so they will have to probably change for the wet tyres. And we can start to see some standing water just there in some parts of the track. You can see Lamp struggling there, heading towards turn 8, but it's very understeery as well. I was speaking to the drivers in the chat today, and if there's one of those tracks where I was hoping it was not going to rain, one of those was France. And guess what? It's raining in France. So that's one of the commentators' curses of the stream there probably happened. But you can see one really damp part of the track and one lighter part of the track as well. So you can see where the track is rubbing in the wet and which ones have not as well. Benjamin's found some more time in that final sector on Mitch, so probably he's learned from the troubles he had last lap. He's probably found what he needed to improve on, and he's doing very well. He's got his overtake button. He's got more than Mish at this point. This is going to be advantage Ben at this point, but he can't afford, he cannot afford to basically use most of his ERS now, because otherwise it's going to be a level playing field for both of these drivers.
And of course, if he's really pushing it late and overdriving the car, there's more possibilities of an overtake for of a mistake from him. It looks like Kazui retires from the session. He sped into the pit lane. That's what I was really expecting, because it doesn't look like it's wet enough for the full wet tyres. Of course, the rain is getting heavier and it is still pouring down onto circuit. Visibility will be a big issue for these guys, as if Benjamin, if he pushes too hard, then he'll have a lot of trouble actually trying to make an overtake. It's one thing to catch a guy, and it's another to completely overtake him. So Mish probably wouldn't be too worried about Benjamin at the moment, but I definitely think saving some of that ERS is going to be a top priority for him.
Yeah, Mish is on 4%. He wants to make sure he can keep Benjamin behind, but does Mish know how much ERS Benjamin's using? That is the question. That has been unwise. We've got yellow flag and set to 3, so the conditions are getting worse and worse. I think that's no, it's not being, because he's in sector 2. I'm just trying to see who it could be. Actually, it's quite impossible to tell with this map, but there's a yellow. It probably is Kazui that's retired in the pit lane. But yeah, it is Kazui that's retired in the pit lane. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, pretty much Table Clan could be on for its best result of the season. His last best result of the season, if I just have a look, he's been consistent. P7, P8, P8. So if he keeps penalty free, he could definitely get P3, which will be way above what he's expected this season, as he's probably going to be wanting to catch up to Benjamin, but he can't do it at the moment. But he's got Lamp and Petrox also trying to catch up to Table Clan as well, so we could be on for a three-way fight here as well. We are almost approaching the final. We are in the final third of this race. Would it be enough for these guys to go onto the full wet tyres, or will we see the crossover point where it's just good enough for any tyre, as Luca retires from the session in P16. Unfortunately, now he's going to drop all the way down into P19. No safety cars, surprisingly, in this race. I'm a bit shocked about that.
Yeah, well, let's hope that we don't see any of them at all, because, this is already some pretty good racing, and we want to see all the drivers get to the flag as soon as possible and as safely as possible, because really we don't wish a safety car on anyone, because that should be impartial from us. So yeah, I believe that Table Clan is losing a bit of time. I think he's not as confident as Lamp and Petrox at the moment, catching up to him. They're almost within a second, and Kazui leaves the session, I believe. I got scared a bit there, because the yellow flag sector 1 popped up, and then a little message appeared on the bottom, so that scared me. I thought someone had actually retired on circuit, but no, that is just Luca's AI car following down. For some reason, I don't know why they don't just retire it in the pit lane, but yeah, that is just how it all works in the F1 2020 games. He is now out of the race, that is confirmed. Where will we go for the rest of this race, though? It's looking like they might be on the intermediates all the way to the end.
Yeah, it looks like it as well, because I think it'll be too late to go onto the full wets, but never say never. Anything can happen, as we said as well, and they just got to live with any type of condition and roll with it. They've done their mandatory stop as well, so technically these tyres can make it to the end. I'm just looking at how long these mediums last. Mediums are going to probably last, I think, the same amount of time as what the Inters, are going to last the same time as what the mediums would be. So that's around about 14 laps on the mediums, and they're on 7 laps at the moment. So they've got 7 more laps to go. So I think it's going to be touch and go, and especially with the rain getting heavier, that's going to make things even more tricky on the final few laps. So that is where we could see the guy at Table Clan could potentially catch up, maybe, or this is where he could struggle as well. The rears must be definitely heating up at the moment, as Lamp could have a chance to get past the Table Clan for position, but it's not for position really, because it's penalty, as Lamp gets another one. So I believe that's him up to 6. Yeah, that's up to 6 at the moment. Green's also on 6. Midnight's on 9. Name changes on 3, as well as CC Bean and Banana. And Will's on 9 seconds, and McQueen is on 3 seconds as well. So there's around about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 or 10 drivers to get a penalty. So almost half the grid pretty much. So, you know, I'm surprised that there's not... I'm surprised it would have... I thought there would have been more, but I think some of these guys are keeping it cautious in the final half because you never know, there might be a safety car, and if there is a safety car, the penalties could be costly for your race. As Benjamin 1.4 is shopping a bit too mish, but to be honest, I think from what I heard in the chat, Ben just wanted points this race, and he's going to get more than just points. He's going to get points and the lead of this race, lead of this championship, if he keeps this up. So, to be honest, for some of these drivers, they set low expectations and they get much higher ones in return at the end of it. Sometimes I set low expectations and do better as well, and if I set high expectations, I do rubbish. So, kind of a little bit of reverse psychology there, as Greeny gets a 3-second time penalty as well. I think Petrox has caught to the back of Lamp a bit more, and Lamp's definitely caught up to the back of Table Clan. Could this be the move that Lamp is looking for?
Yeah, it's definitely looking like he has been reeling them in just ever so slightly each and every lap, but a little bit of an oversteering moment. It looks like Petrox is actually closer to Lamp than Lamp is to Table Clan. He's lost a lot of time coming onto the straightaway, so Petrox could be in a really good position, not into this corner, but definitely into the next couple if he could just get a really good exit here. As I say that, he has a little bit of a slide there, and that's pretty much going to nullify any chance of an overtake. These guys beginning to spread out just a little bit. Looks like Table Clan is just managing himself really well. I think maybe Lamp is struggling with the spray a little bit, and visibility could be an issue for him. But the guys at the front, Mish and Benjamin, you really do have to commend them for actually keeping up with their pace at the moment. These guys have been pretty much undeniable at the top ever since the wet conditions really came into effect. They haven't lost any time to the guys behind them, and they might have been a little bit fortunate with the whole alternate strategy being a thing, and they basically could take those tyres all the way to the top, whereas the top 10 had to come into the pit lane. But that is really not putting down their efforts today, so really well done to those guys. If they could just bring it home, that'd be brilliant for both of their championship hopes.
Yeah, exactly as well. And obviously there's 12 rounds in this championship, two less than the season 26, so two less opportunities for people to do well, and you got to have much more better races for yourself than rubbish races. If you have more rubbish races than better races, then pretty much you're screwed in the championship, and your chance of getting F2 champion has probably slipped away. And it looks like, for the way this is going this season already, we could have a new champion at the end of it, because Toxic Tomato is down in 7th and is potentially not going to score as many points as he would have hoped. But Lamp has got a penalty, so he won't gain it, because Toxic is around about 7 seconds behind Petrox, so he's not going to get the move there. But yeah, Petrox is looking, I think, feisty lap after lap, but again, he's finding it hard in these wet conditions, as is all the drivers at the moment. Midnight also picked up another penalty as well. I mean, I think he's just getting tricky to stay on the track, so it's understandable that some of these guys are picking up more penalties. I think it's harder to not get penalties at this stage, really, to be honest, at the later stage of the race. You can barely see the track. The visibilities are getting a little bit difficult as well, but I was expecting it to be a bit heavier than I thought it was going to be, but that is just Cody's for you once again. So yeah, it will stay into that thing until the end of this race, but I wonder what would have happened if the lobby didn't glitch and it would have stayed the weather as it is. It probably would have been a different story.
Yeah, it could have come a little bit later. I believe it was the last two blocks that were actually occupied by the rain, whereas in this race it was the last three. So I definitely think those guys who were on the soft tyres probably would have been a little bit more beneficiary. As there's Lamp getting a real fishtail coming out of the second corner. He's lost quite a lot of time to Table Clan up ahead. Lamakina's out, and that's a safety car late into the Grand Prix, and that is going to change everything. The whole complexion of the Grand Prix is going to be completely on its head. Safety car out. Lamakina looks like he's lost it at the fast right-hander, and that is going to throw a real spanner in the works for some of these guys further back.
That's just after turn 10, that looked like on the mini-map. Heading in towards turn 11, so yeah, how on earth did he lose it there? I'm not sure. Maybe he lost control of the car in the wet, maybe he just got to a little bit of a spin near the barrier potentially as well. But yeah, it's a shame that we couldn't really see what happened there. Unfortunately, you can't actually see retirements, but yeah, we're down to 17 drivers in this race. Ballina is taking every opportunity. He's going on to a fresh set of engines. If I was them, a fresh set of engines will probably be the best idea, because Otherwise, your tyres are going to overheat so quickly. Overheating is a huge issue around this track in any conditions. I think the other tracks where overheating can be an issue in the calendar is Singapore, where we head to in round 8. Potentially Japan as well, and maybe Abu Dhabi. But I think Singapore definitely another track where they could have similar overheating issues. Benjamin goes into the pits. Mish does not. Table Clan is going to probably be in a predicament because he's seeing one of his rivals not pitting and one of his rivals are. So Table Clan is staying out. Lamp is staying out, I think, as well. Petrox is staying out. It's quite a mixed bag at the moment. Where is Benjamin going to come out? Because the pit loss around here in the dry is around 23 seconds. It's way more than that in the rain. So he's going to lose a chunk of time. So where is he going to end up? He's got Manolo coming across the line. He's going to be just ahead of him, I think. Actually, he's going to be way ahead of him, actually, as well. So I wonder... So the race win is still not over for Benjamin. And by any means, because he's going to be on fresher tyres. But again, it's harder to overtake in the rain. And you never know. It could be full wet sooner than you know it. And they're not going on to full wet. So quite a mixed bag. Looking at the stops, I think... the only people that pitted is Benjamin, Greeny, Will and Bean. So I think those are the drivers that have struggled on those intermediate tyres and want to go fresh set of ones. Ballon has done the same. They don't get as many intermediate tyres in the whole weekend, so they got to use it wisely. But obviously it did not start inters, it started dry. So, you know, they've got a little bit of flexibility. So the safety car is here and it's going to take a while to catch up. And I think by calculations, if the safety car's in this lap, the DRS is going to come at the final lap. But if the safety car is not in this lap, we are not going to get DRS for the rest of the race. Actually, no, because it's wet. Oh, my God. Sorry about that. I'm talking about normal situation, and then I realised it was wet, and yeah, I do apologise. But in a normal situation, there'll be no DRS anyway. So, in a way, it's a good thing that they're not going to be as a disadvantage because they would be at no DRS anyway. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see, of course. But, yeah, lap 24, safety cars looks like it's going to stay out. So, I think for Benjamin, he's probably regretted that he's pitted, as did a few other guys as well. But you gotta go with your gut feeling, and that's what his gut feeling was. Mish is definitely looking like he's the favourite at the moment, and maybe Table Clan as well.
Yeah, at the time when I saw Benjamin coming into the pit lane, I thought, yeah, that is the right move for him because, well, actually, originally I was like, maybe not the smartest, you'll lose track position. But as they came around the circuit, I thought, hang on here, he could come out in P2 and still be in a really good position to actually fight Mish. But then I forgot how long this pit lane was. So down in 5th place, it's not over for him. He's going to have to make a couple overtakes, and it's going to be very unlikely that he can find his way past the Table Clan, Lamp and Petrox. So actually catch up to Mish, but anything can happen on the safety car restart. I don't believe that the guys, I think Greeny, Will, Ballon and Bean won't be able to catch up in this race. I think that they're going to have to go green this lap. There's kind of a mandatory 2 laps of a green flag running. The game just does not allow you to finish on the safety car. Ballon picking up a 3-second time penalty somehow under the safety car. If he doesn't get another warning, he might try and get that one removed, but being in 16th position, I wouldn't see too much point in it. But that is, of course, up to him. So Mish leading the way on lap number 25. Table Clan in 2nd, Lamp in 3rd with 6 seconds of time penalties coming his way. He probably wouldn't have been hoping for a safety car, because if he can't pull out a gap to the guys behind, he will be tumbling down the order and could almost be out the points if things don't go his way, as we'll probably find out soon if the safety car is actually coming in this lap.
It's got to.
There it is.
There we go. Otherwise, I don't think any race has ended on a safety car in this game, and it never will be. So the lap that it would have ended is this one. Otherwise, it would have only been one green flag racing, and that would have been advantage Mish and disadvantage everybody else, to be honest. So anyway, so it looks like Lamp is on a course for a podium, but he's not going to get it now. He's going to drop, I think, down to P7, because Midnight's got a 12-second penalty, or maybe P8. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm not good at maths. That's why I'm in the commentary box. But anyway, Mish is going to be the one that controls the field. Everyone can't, well, pretty much can't accelerate really until they, or overtake until the safety car line. Mish is getting away ever so early as well, so he wants to get this race going ever so quickly, and he's got a great start. Table Clan as well, he's going to have the benefit of staying out as well. Benjamin, let's see what he could do on fresher tyres, looking very good on Petrox. Petrox are having a little bit of internet issues. Bean has got a 5-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flag, so he must have overtaken before the safety car line a start-finish straight as well, which is easier to do, of course, but I wonder if Benjamin at the moment is regretting him going into the pits, because he would have probably potentially challenged for the win. He could probably still get fourth. Here we go. Benjamin goes for a late move around the right-hand side there of turn 4. Or turn 5. I can't remember what corner it was, but Benjamin, that is the move of the race. How on earth did you do that? That was crazy. Well, he's on fresher tyres, but I was not expecting him to get an overtake at this stint. I thought he would have been stuck behind Petrox for ages, but he is showing why he deserves to be potentially your championship. I don't think he'll get the championship lead after tonight. Actually, he might do if he gets P3 or higher, which he can now get because Lab has got 6 seconds, so he'll be on 33 points, and he will take the lead of the championship after this race if he stays in this position. If he drops a few more positions, then he won't. So this is added motivation for him at this point. He's going full guns a-blazing, the AlphaTauri driver.
Yeah, absolutely, but you still have to consider Mish and Table Clan the favourite in this race. This is a brilliant story. 2 guys dropping from F1 into F2, now fighting for their place back in the top tier here at France, coming on to the final lap of the Grand Prix. Both these guys yet to claim their first win in PSGL. So who is going to be the one to take the golden crown, the golden chalice, and take a sip from it? As here he goes on to the final lap of the Grand Prix. 7 tenths is the gap between Mish and Table Clan. Don't count out Will, though. He'll still want to get it on track and probably try and cost his rivals some time as well, as it's going to be a brilliant race all the way to the end. It looks like Mish is just beginning to pull away. There's a spinner. It's World Rally, unfortunately, and he's just not had a good race today, and that is at turn number 1, so it might have been contact for someone else, might have been him just spinning on his own, but unfortunate. Nevertheless, that is his race completely over.
Yeah, which is a shame for World Rally, but if he has chances later on in the season, then he'll probably take it with both hands. So let's see what Benjamin could do in turn 8. He can't get in turn 8, but the track is very treacherous at the moment. Luckily, it was too late to go onto the full wet, but it looks like it is full wet. If it was a 100% race, it would definitely be full wet, because you can barely see at the moment. So it's more prone for people making mistakes, more prone for people getting more penalties. So I'm not sure what Benjamin wants to do at the moment. Does Benjamin want to get P3 on track, or he wants to stay position? I think he wants to stay position. Petrox is going to do all he can to try and defend from Tomato, who's chasing on him at the moment. But we've got Mish and Table Clan still fighting for the win, but it looks like due to the fact that Mish was controlling that safety car, and he's been in the lead of this race before the safety car, that he's going to probably take the win as he heads towards the penultimate few corners, past turn 14, in towards turn 15 and 16, and there he goes. Mish was denied the win in Australia due to penalties, but he's not denied the win today. He wins his first race in F2 in France, in Le Castellet. Table Clan gets P2. Benjamin takes P3. I'll have to do some maths on this. It's either Benjamin or Mish getting the lead of the championship. I will have to double check that. Anyway, Petrox in 4th, Toxic in 5th, Manolo 6th, Fabi 7th, Lamp 8th, Simo 9th, and Name Changer in 10th, getting the final point. And we've got CT Brain, Greenie, Midnight, Will, and I'll go through the rest of the results in a minute. So, the winner gets 16 points. So, if I just do some
my calculations,
maths,
I think Benjamin's leading it by 1 point ahead of Mish.
Oh, yeah, Benjamin's on 23. You get 16
He'll get 10.
You get 10 for that, so that's 33. You get 16 points for the win. Mish's on 14, so you get 30. So the gap is 3 points. Wow, this is going to be a spicy championship, I've got to say. That means Lee has lost his lead, but he's going to lose his lead anyway, because obviously he's in reserve driver. He's actually racing in F1 at the moment, because obviously there's a few drivers that haven't turned up, so he's actually racing in F1. so he is racing anyway, so that's good news for him. But let's go through your results for F1. So Mish in first, Table Clan second. I wonder if that's going to promote Table Clan up a few positions as well. He gets 10 points, so that's going to put him on to 20 points as well. I'm not that far behind Will as well, we're not scoring any points. Tomato 5th, Marlowe 6th, then we got Fabi, Lamp just missing out in 8th, then we got Simo from 19th to P9, a really incredible performance from him, and Name Changer in 10th. Then we got CC Brain, Greeny, Midnight Will, Bean, Banana, and then your retirements are World Rally, Macrina, Luca, and Kazooie. Kazooie, unfortunately, being the first retirement, and for the first time this season, no points have been scored by the constructors' leader at the moment before this race, which is Renault. So this could be a good chance for the other teams to close the gap a little bit.
Absolutely, of course. One of their drivers, not actually, yeah. Sorry, I am right. That one of their drivers didn't even finish the race, and then one of them didn't get any points. So yeah, no points for them. Of course, Kazooie's race was doomed pretty much from the start with that drive-through penalty. It really did spell disaster. But no points for Renault. Could Lee Finley really have just been their carry throughout the season, as he picked up most of the points for the Renault outfit for the French team, of course, becoming Alpine in 2021 next season. It'll be interesting to see how they got on, but no points for the championship leaders and the constructors. Definitely going to throw some spice into the mix.
Yeah, I think so as well, and that's good. We like a closer championship. We don't like someone that's dominating as well, and to be honest, it's a shame we didn't get as many overtakes, but we weren't expecting many overtakes around France. And we're going to go to a track next week where we're probably hardly going to see any, apart from obviously the tunnel section or maybe Milbo. It is the Monaco Grand Prix, which is a track which everybody wants to win pretty much as well. And we're going to see if anyone is wanting to go to interviews. I don't think they are, which is I think a good thing. We don't want to we don't want to we don't want to lose any more time. So obviously a lot of you will probably want to watch F1, which is on right now, as they're in the middle of their race, because obviously we started late due to the lobby issues by Codemasters, which is a bit of a shame there. Hopefully it gets fixed very, very soon. So I doubt anyone wants to join. So we're going to wrap it there, folks. So thank you guys so much for watching the first race of 2021. Like I said, make sure you check the F1 and F5 streams going on right now. Thank you to Dan for joining me as per always. It's great to be back, isn't it?
Yeah, I definitely think that we've got some way to come back in commentating, because we've had such a long time off. Going to be a little bit rusty, but definitely I think that the streams will get a lot better in the coming weeks, and once we get more acclimatized to commentating again. But thank you so much for being alongside me today, Jess. It was lovely to join you, of course, every single week. Cut forward, of course. Next week, I don't remember where we're going.
Monaco. I said that quite a few times in the stream. Yeah, we could tell we guys are a bit rusty tonight, but it happens. It happens. We'll be back to our normal selves next week. But anyway, we will see you next week, same time at 7 p.m. Hopefully no lobby issues, touch wood, for the Monaco Grand Prix. Enjoy the rest of your evening and enjoy the F1 race, which is going on right now. Bye bye.